I shared this with you before, but I'm gonna share it again, went on this date with this young lady. Things were popping off. Long story short, I met her at the gym, got to know her over a few weeks. You know what I'm saying? Finally, shot my shot. She was like, cool, hey, let's do the things. So we went out the first time, went out to the movies. Probably not the best choice for dates. We're watching Wakanda, Black
Mm,
Panther, yeah.
yeah.
Had fun and all of that. And, obviously did the thing, paid for the date, the meal, everything. And she really enjoyed it. So she decided to pay back the favor on my birthday. She decided to take me out, right? So she did like the whole thing. Pick me up, you know, took me to the restaurants, got my meal, paid for the meal, dropped me off home. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole baddie princess experience. I
You were
got
batty for a
I
day.
got a taste of that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So during the date, as we're hanging out, this is the second date, when she took me out for my birthday. Like I said, we were popping off, chemistry was good, conversations were good, and then we started talking about values, what we want for the future, do we believe in family, faith, finance, etc., etc. And she told me a bit of her background, where she comes from, what she likes, a bit of her story. And I shared also a bit of my background, where I come from, what I like, what my story is. And this girl liked me, right? Or I should say she was attracted to me. I would say that. And when I described, okay, this is who I am, this is where I come from, this is my story. At the end of that conversation, towards the end of the night, she was like, "Damn, bro, I
Too
think you're
good
too
for
good
me.
for me." She said, "I think you're too good for me." Obviously, as a young man, you're like, that does not make any sense. You can't, because women always talk about how they want a good guy, they want
Yeah.
a good man, a decent guy, a kind man, A, B, C, and D. And yeah, you have one right in front of you, and you're saying he's too much of that. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't make the cut anymore. Now, I would brush this off as one experience, but I had this experience four times. Okay. Four different goals, four different backgrounds, four different stories. The girl I just described, she was a white girl. I experienced that with another black girl and another black girl. She used some different words, but it was the same thing. And a mixed girl, a colored girl. She also said the same thing. Different language, but the same, you're too good for me
Yeah.
talk. And I was like, damn, what's going on? I don't know what I was coming across as. I thought I was just being authentic, being genuine. And this was a few years ago, when I was just younger. But and then I came onto, your series.
Hmm.
And yeah, I want you to talk about filmmakers and film and depth of field and, the touch angle and, what I'm saying, the low
Yeah.
angle, the high angle. Talk to us about that.
So, if I didn't have to work for a living, I'd be a filmmaker. I'd make
Hmm.
documentary films.
Hmm.
That's something I'm really passionate about, but I'm not financially there yet
Hmm.
to quit my job and do that full time. But that's one of my goals in life.
Yeah.
Um, One thing that I've learned um, during my journey in filmmaking, learning about cinematography, is that you want to obviously tell a story audibly, but you know, the best thing to do is show, not tell.
Yeah.
So a lot of how you properly tell a story and maintain people's interest is in the way that you film the subject, the
Hmm.
scene, the whole nine.
Hmm.
And there's something, for instance, in filmmaking called dirtying the frame,
Mm.
right? It's the concept of, for instance, there's a war movie. A lot of war movies do this, but there's one in particular I can't remember off the top of my head. But like the camera that followed the protagonist through as they were like running through war, it was
Hmm.
like there was mud thrown on it, there was dirt thrown
Mm.
on it
Hmm.
to kind of create that immersion, that immersive
Mm.
experience.
Yeah.
On a very simple level, if you want to shoot something and make it interesting, you want foreground and then you want background. So essentially, you want something in the closer to the camera that's blurry.
That's blurry, yeah.
Something in the middle that's sharp.
Yeah.
That's your subject. And then a background that's also blurry. It creates
depth.
Dimension. It creates depth.
Yeah.
Also, you know, a lot of filmmakers, they like faces that are interesting. Right. So when you do close-ups, for instance, you want to see the pores in people's skin. You want to see the wrinkles in an old person's skin. You want to see the micro expressions when somebody's talking about something traumatic or exciting or whatever the case may be, because more than just saying this is exciting or this is traumatic, that those visuals kind of help tell that story.
Yeah.
I say all that to say I once joked and said, women date like filmmakers. In the sense that they don't necessarily want a bad boy. They don't want to necessarily want a good boy. They want somebody with dimension. Sometimes that dimension is a paradox. Sometimes it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't live in the same person.
Yeah.
Unless they have schizophrenia. But I think what a lot of women are saying is like, I want somebody with depth. I want somebody with texture. Because more than just falling in love with the person, women have been socialized to, and I think there's also a biological imperative to fall in love with the story. When you are too polished, too smooth, when you are too jagged, too rough, it's predictable.
Yeah.
There's really no story there.
Yeah.
But when there's some roughness, like a pretty boy with a scar, what happened? You know what I mean? An old guy with a scowl and wrinkles. There's a story in each of those wrinkles.
Yeah.
Right. So as a filmmaker, you're looking at those things that might not be immediately recognized as aesthetically pleasing, but create interest. And similarly, I think that's how women kind of select men.
I mean, take us back to a moment when you realized, hey, women are filmmakers, you know? What happened is an instance, a scenario where you look back now, you're like, okay, you can see that now.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily like one moment where I came to that realization. I think it's me kind of considering or reflecting on a lot of my personal experiences with women, but also like my experience interviewing women, conducting discussions and trying to make sense of some of the contradictions that I was hearing, right? Like, you know, a lot of men have heard the things you heard about you're too nice.
Yeah.
A lot of men have heard, you know, I want a bad boy who's good to me.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of men have heard, you know, I want a man who makes a lot of money but has a bunch of time to spend with me. I want somebody who is disciplined and has direction and purpose, but prioritizes me. Like a lot of things that are paradoxes. And the only way that it could make sense for me was realizing that women aren't linear thinkers in the way that men are. Right? Women look at things more like from a more abstract lens, which I think is the essence of the turning a house into a home or the female intuition, or some of the things about them that's magical. So like the whole filmmaker thing, when, you know, like I was talking about dynamic range, a camera's ability to see the details in the light parts of a scene and the details in the dark parts of a scene. Yeah. I think that's what women are really good at. I think a lot of our experiences with that is the unhealthy version. But I think there's something there. And I think, you know, the better we wrestle with some of these paradoxes and try to understand it, I think we can better appreciate women. And I think, kind of like I said earlier, we can have more, as men, we can have more sophisticated expectations of them and have an easier time navigating them.
So if women are filmmakers, I've heard you describe them as storytellers as well. Basically, a filmmaker is a storyteller.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't lie, they tell their truth.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, it's their story, you know what I'm saying? It's their experience. Yeah. A, B, C, and D.
For the plot?
Yeah, they do it for the plot. A lot of them just do it for the plot. What don't Simps understand, in your view, about their thinking, about their logic, about them being filmmakers? What do Simps miss, do you think?
I think most men start out as simps primarily because we believe that the world is a meritocracy.
Mm.
We believe that you do this, this, and this,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get a promotion at your job. You
Yeah.
do this, this, and this, you graduate. You do this, this, and this, and you win friends and influence people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, that linear thinking applies in a lot of places in life. It does not apply with women,
Damn.
right? There is a lot of there is a lot of we think life is math, but for women, there's a lot of chemistry,
Okay.
which is ambiguous. There's a lot
Mm.
of
Mm. Damn.
chemistry, theoretical physics.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, abstract art.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think developing a more sophisticated expectation of them is understanding that they don't operate necessarily on the same rules that the masculine world operates in, and trying to apply that to them or have those same expectations is a recipe for disaster.
Mm.
And I say that from experience because I've done that. I'm a very rational person.
Yeah.
So because of that, I've struggled in some ways. But coming to that realization has helped me kind of, finesse things a little bit better, for lack of a better term. Yeah.
Mm. So I've asked you this before, but I do want you to repeat your answer.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna dive a bit more into that. Do you think basically women are storytellers, they think more ambiguously, more emotionally. Chemistry, all of that jazz theoretically, and men are more like engineers, so to speak. We think in a line. Do you think that it's good that both parties think differently in that way, or do you think it's a bad thing?
See, that's the thing. That's a masculine question. I don't think it's a binary. I think it's both. I think it's good and bad, right? I think, like I say all the time, I think men's role is to teach the next generation how to survive, whereas women's role, mother's role, is to teach them why to survive, right? So a lot of what women are biologically, dispositionally, psychologically concerned with is the whys, I would say the philosophical nuance of life and living and the human experience, where men are more like, we're philosophical too, obviously, but like we're more entrenched in the practicality, how to stay safe, how to build a house, how to earn food and, protect yourself, all that good stuff. So I don't think it's good or bad. I think we are meant to balance each other. And I think masculinity without being checked by femininity. And when I say checked, I don't mean like, don't do that. I mean checked as in like counterbalanced. We devolve into like Mad Max, Fury Road, dog eat dog, killer be killed. And without masculinity balancing out femininity, and if it's just femininity, I think that's what we're seeing in the West, where it's coddling, it's safe spaces, it's, you're not too much, they just aren't enough. It's toxic femininity. It's over coddling that leads people to manufacture their own destruction. So yeah, I don't think it's good or bad. I just think it can be unhealthy.
It can be unhealthy.
It can be unhealthy. Yeah.
I see. In what ways? I mean, okay, no, you've already answered that basically. Guess I'm gonna go with this, right?
Yeah.
I want to talk about attraction, and what makes a man attractive to a woman. There's obviously, we speak about how women are attracted to security, stability, and status. At the same time, a man can have the security, the stability, he can have the status, he can be the most important person in his city, at his job, he can have the stability of his own home, his own situation going on. He can have the security of a good savings thing, you know, life insurance, A, B, C, and D, and still not be found attractive to his female counterparts.
Yeah.
So again, we're going to that, talking about being dynamic, talking about dirtying the frame. I mean, how can men dirty their frame? You know, how can they add dust and mud and to their frame? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I think of it two ways. Like the other day, we're watching a military movie, and um, it talked about special operations. And then, I watched a lot of videos about like Navy SEALs
Yeah,
and Delta Force
yeah.
and, the Rangers, or even like the SAS or SSA or something in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that comes up a lot during the selection process, a lot of the branches of the military special forces, they say something that I think is interesting. They say, we're not looking for the best person, we're looking for the right person. So a lot of times the person who makes it through SEAL team selection, Delta Force selection, isn't necessarily the strongest guy, the fastest guy, the most intelligent guy, but he has something that makes him a compelling and dynamic, everything we're talking about, recruit for the special operations. I think women operate in a similar type of way. So I think number one, the first thing to understand as a guy is you'll never be good enough for the wrong woman.
Damn.
There's some, and even on a biological level, right?
Damn.
Even on a biological level,
Yeah.
like one of the problems with birth control, as an example, and people can look this up, but it inhibits a woman's ability to sense pheromones properly, right? Because as a species, part of genetic compatibility is genetic difference. And one of the ways that females of other species kind of seek that out is through scent. And they're seeking it. What they're trying to deduce subconsciously is, are our genetics compatible to make a strong offspring with the maximum chance of survival?
Yeah.
So guy A, guy B could both be just as handsome, just as tall, just as rich, but guy B could smell better to her than guy A. Right? Guy B could be from...
That sounds very primitive, but keep going.
It is very primitive.
Yeah.
Guy B can be from a part of the world that is compelling to her, and guy A is from a part of the world that isn't. Right? Those nuances exist. So the first thing to understand as a guy is like, this ain't Pokemon. You cannot catch them all. Some women will not like you, regardless of what you do. It is not meritocracy. You need to come in with that humility, with that understanding that it doesn't work like that. Women don't work like that. And if you can gracefully take your L, I think that should be the measure of man that you are.
Gracefully take your L.
Gracefully take
break that down practically.
Gracefully take your L, meaning that you're not coming in with too many expectations, which goes back to my juvenile, unsophisticated expectations of women. Because we think, if I do this, take her on this date, go here, sure I'm nice, do this, then she'll want me. And it's not linear. Like, it does not work like that.
I mean, okay, so do you think that's how it's always been historically? Because I would push back and argue that, okay, I think the reason why that doesn't work, right, being performative, basically, is because, for example, social media has now informed women's expectations about a first date, a second date, a third date. So now, because she's exposed to, her friend Jessica, whose boyfriend or, this crush, this guy who has a crush on her took on a flipping helicopter for the first date, you know what I'm saying? Now she can't appreciate that from you. Whereas maybe she didn't see that post. If she existed in a time where there was no Instagram, she would have appreciated chocolates.
Because her ex-boyfriend took her to McDonald's and hit the first night.
Yeah.
It's not linear. It's not linear. And the thing is,
Damn.
you have to, I've been fortunate or cursed, I don't know, but I've been on both sides.
Yeah.
And what I can tell you with certainty, and women who are watching this, women that you know are going to agree with me on this, whether they actually agree with me or they just like, damn, who told this nigga?
Yeah.
Women only enforce their rules for men they don't like. Women only enforce their rules with men they don't like. And you can actually see this play out on shows like Pop the Balloon.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There was an episode recently. The girl, she popped on a guy because he had a do-rag on.
Yeah.
She popped on another guy because he wasn't Christian enough. The guy she matched with was wearing a do-rag and wasn't Christian. I've seen a girl with two guys side by side. They're both the same height. She pops on guy one because he's too short and matches with guy two. And they're the same height. Again, women, when I say, and I tell this jokingly, but like, women don't lie. They tell their truth. So when a woman says you're short, it might not necessarily mean you're short. It just means you're short to her. Meaning that your maybe it's your swag, your aura. Now that's what Gen Z does not compel her to look up to you. Damn. And now all she's left to do is try to make it make sense in a practical way. It doesn't, but she's trying to figure out. So, because women start at the conclusion, I don't like him. Why don't I like him? Oh, he's short. Men are more so, she's short or she's not pretty, therefore I don't like her.
Yeah.
Women start with I don't like her and then work backwards. So when I talk about men having a more sophisticated or more sophisticated expectation of women, is understanding there's no such thing as performing your way into pussy. Unfortunately, you could trick people. I don't think that's sustainable. I don't think that's the same ego bonus that you're gonna, because it's some BS. Especially nowadays where women are more empowered than ever before. They have the privilege now to operate the way nature intended without male dominance and interference. And they are picking what they're attracted to.
But is it possible that her interest in you may change? So, for example, right? I made this video about Johnny Bravo, and basically the story goes that one day he's in the kitchen, he's eating cereal, and then in the cereal box there's a cassette advertising women abroad who are DTF, basically, right? And we all know Johnny Bravo. He's all about
mail order brides.
Exactly. Yeah. And so he makes the call, makes an order, and then a woman from Eastern Europe is flown in a week later, shows up to his front door, opens the box, out jumps this fat, ginger-haired, pale, freckled, pimpled face white girl. You know what I'm saying? And Johnny's just not interested. You know what I'm saying? He's like, it's not his type. He's not attracted. And so because he's not attracted, he defaults into just being himself and being nonchalant. In fact, he goes out of his way to try and get rid of this girl. And the way he does it is by basically doing stuff that he likes to do, right? And so, long story short, he tries to take on this fight club date night, where dudes are beating each other and there's blood all over the place. She loves it. He takes her to a raccoon restaurant. You know what I'm saying? She loves it. And he's like, oh, damn, this isn't working. And then his friend comes, buys her flowers, and he gets jealous. He's like, hey, man, what are you trying to do? You're trying to ruin my date. He's like, nah, I thought you didn't like her. And he's like, yeah, I didn't like her, but then I've never met a girl like her. You know what I'm saying? A girl who likes what I like, who's into what I'm into. Yeah. And so he then gets attracted to her. And then what does he do? He starts to perform, right? He starts to do the comb over he does with his hair. He starts to dance and pose with the muscles, the whole Johnny Bravo thing. And she gets disgusted. And then she punches him and goes out with a nerdy friend instead, right? So again, I talk to a lot of girls and they talk about it's the classic like, hey, you know, I rejected him, my friends owned him, and then when you stop caring, you know, when you stop texting me or when you stop calling, you know what I'm saying? When you was nonchalant, that's when now I started caring. That's when I was more interested in him. So, is it, you say that you can never basically, you can never be the right guy for the wrong girl? If I'm paraphrasing what you say correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Can you change that? Like,
Can you change that?
yeah. Can the interest in you change?
I think the better question is, would you want it to?
Damn.
I think part of that sophistication I keep preaching is you have to love and like yourself more than anybody else will. And, you know, kind of like we joke about sometimes, the process of dating as a man is essentially tap dancing for the opportunity to protect and provide for somebody.
Damn.
Therefore, you know, I think the men who are successful are the ones who are, whether they know this consciously or this is just subconscious and it's part of their swag, part of their charisma, but like, I'm having a great time. I want you to be a part of it. And if you don't want to be a part of it, you might not be smart. You might not, you know, you're missing out. Right? There has to be some level of like, it's fun over here. And if you can't see that, then you might not be fun or you might be stupid. There's a little arrogance. So I think that number one, why would you want it to change? Number two, you should have better things to do with yourself and with your time than performing and buying your time
into tap dance
for somebody's daughter to settle for you.
Yeah.
I think it's a completely different posture. I think, like I said, I think it starts with understanding that some people, not just women, some people are not going to like you for reasons that they might not even be able to articulate. And that's okay. There's some people I've seen, I just don't like their face. You might be a great person, but I just don't like your face. Or I don't like your voice.
Yeah.
And that's the way things are. And I think that when people talk about like an abundance mindset and all that good stuff, that's really what it boils down to. You need to love your company more than you love anybody else's. You need to be the number one validator of yourself instead of seeking external validation, because that puts pressure on the person, especially women. You need to be internal locus of control, not external.
Yeah.
And then you need to move in that and understand if somebody don't like you.
Hold frame.
It is what it is. You win some, you lose some. You don't score every goal. It wasn't meant for you to score. And the main thing about it, for those of us who've been, like I said, fortunate or unfortunate to get the girl of our dreams, or to convince the girl, or to, it's funny. There was a girl, a friend of mine's cousin that I had a crush on when I was little. And, like we would go to, like she would come to my cousin's house, my friend's house all the time. So she's seen me.
Yeah.
But she had never looked at me. She'd never seen me.
Yeah.
Until like when I was in my 20s and we ran into each other at a wedding and she looked at me like she had like, who are you? Like one of my friends introduced us.
Yeah.
And I was like, so, but what it taught me was like, everything that glitters is not, you will be disappointed. Because unfortunately what we do, especially as men, is we build up a fantasy of what we think somebody is, what we think a situation is going to be. And that only, sets us up for disappointment.
Yeah.
Right. So be more practical. Like I talk about sometimes, like, that Mercedes looks great, but have you seen the car payment? Have you seen the insurance? Have you seen the level of anxiety every time that you pull it into a parking lot and somebody's shopping cart might hit it, dent it? Have you seen the oil change cost?
Yeah.
Have you seen the cost to replace a radiator? Have you seen the gas mileage?
Yeah.
All the auxiliary things that come along with that, that after, you get off of the hedonic treadmill and the
Mm,
spike that you got when you first bought the car
mm,
is gone. And now it's just a liability.
yeah.
Do you see that?
So you're saying that men romanticize more?
100%. Men are the real romantics.
Mm,
Men are the real, and I think romance, this is not even my thought, but I'm kind of paraphrasing. Alain de Botton, he talks a lot about romance. He says romance was invented by unemployed European artists, basically, and it was their attempt to compete with men of means. Because I can't out
mm,
protect you, I can't out provide you,
mm,
but I can out feel you.
mm,
So let's talk about long walks on the beach.
mm,
Let's talk about poetry.
mm.
Let's talk about, you know, what we would do if we could fly.
Yeah.
Men are
Damn.
the real romantic. But they had to be. They
Yeah.
had to be.
Damn.
But it was created for the purpose of, adding color to the
Mm,
world, but also for the economic purpose of regular men being able to compete for the attention of women with men of means.
mm,
But yeah, men are the real romantics. Men are romantic not just with women, but also with reality. And I think it's some of the things that compel us or inspire us to do a lot of things that are anti-human,
mm,
risk our lives and our mental fortitude
mm,
for a greater purpose. That's romantic.
mm.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds kind of contradictory because it's like on the one end we're very logical, we're very linear,
Mm-hmm.
but we're also romantics. I mean,
Yeah.
how do you reconcile the two? You know?
That's a good question. I think that
Is it that when we're horny, we just like
yeah. I think there's biology and then there's sociology at play.
okay.
Because when you think about it, the whole process essentially of a rite of passage, turning a boy into a man, is kind of refusing in a sense, and this is a crass way to put it, but refusing your humanity
Mm,
or gaining the ability to deny your humanity.
mm,
If you're going to go to war, you can't be human. You have to be a warrior. If
mm,
you're going to march into a coal mine, you can't be human. You have to be a provider.
mm,
If you're going to risk your life building railroads or whatever else we had to do, scaling skyscrapers to establish the infrastructure of the world,
mm,
you have to be anti-human. You have to think, I'm doing this for God. I'm doing this for my family. I'm
mm,
doing this for my legacy. Sometimes very nebulous things or ideals that we strive for. Linear meaning that like just naturally we're more practical. We're
mm,
more, I think I read somewhere men's front and back hemispheres are more connected than women's, whereas
mm,
women's left and right hemispheres are more connected than men's.
mm,
Something like that. I don't know. But we're different. And the way that we process information and interact with the world is different based on our psychology and our biology and our physiology.
mm. Right. Damn. That's very good. That's very good. So, I mean, how much of culture, speaking about modern times, how much of social media, movies, magazines, the shows we watch, how much of that do you think influence this primitive chip in us, women being storytellers, men being logical and at the same time being romantics?
Mm.
How much do you think culture has influenced that modern day culture?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think culture, practically speaking, is created for a purpose. It's created for a collective purpose, right?
Mm,
It's, the culture of the 50s was optimized to create the types of people that the societies of the 50s needed to survive. the cultures of the Aztecs, the cultures of the Igbo. I think cultures are optimized for the needs of a people group. Today, however, I say all the time, where art used to imitate reality, now reality imitates art. So I think at this point in history, I think this is kind of unprecedented. I think we're at a point where everything is abstract, everything is nondescript, and I think that's the problem. Like we're denying our biology, we're denying our psychology, we're denying some of the foundational structural realities of who we are as people and who we are as men and women in particular. And I say this kind of jokingly, but we did throw the baby out with the bathwater, literally and figuratively, because of the falling birth rates now, right? We've been so critical of culture in times past that we have, just chosen to abolish everything, including the things that are fundamental to who we are. And were established with that appreciation and understanding of who we are as men and women. And I think it's a mistake.
Damn. Man, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Now, should men's, I can already, if I'm a guy, a young man watching this,
Yeah,
I want women, I desire to be attractive, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of young guys are in this, they think their 20s, they just, for some reason, they just think like, nah, I need to find the one. I need to find my woman. Should men now, go out of their way to develop, being dynamic and having depth and having a foreground and a very blurry background? Should men go out of their way to now dirty the frame?
one of my favorite quotes is, "An unexamined life is not worth living." If you're doing it for women, you've already failed. I say jokingly all the time,
Now that's simping. Yeah.
if your apartment is only clean when are coming over, you fail. If you don't have a standard for yourself, and again, it goes back to like enjoying your own company, enjoying your own space in this context. If you don't have a standard for yourself, if you don't have interests, hobbies, if you're not interesting to you, how can you expect somebody else to find you interesting?
Damn.
And how can you have the right mindset and the right esteem to distinguish between a woman that you like and a woman who likes you? Because the thing is, like I said earlier, the reality that a lot of men are going to be confronted with is after you get the girl and you realize you actually don't like her. You're attracted to her, but you actually don't like her.
That's facts.
And it is a sobering realization. You end up being like, I did all this. I bent myself backwards for this.
Mario fought with the dragon and then
for this.
Yeah.
So you have to be anticipatory of that. So when you're optimizing yourself, you're not optimizing yourself for a woman. You're not optimizing yourself for a group of friends. You're optimizing yourself for yourself. This is the vessel that you have to live in. Make it interesting.
Yeah.
You should want to be interesting. You should want to be eclectic. You should want to be dynamic. You should want to examine yourself and examine the world, explore yourself and explore the world. And a byproduct of that is other people are going to look at you as aspirational, including women. Not all women, but some women. And then all you have to do is then connect the dots. But I think wanting something too much or wanting something more than you want yourself is a recipe for disaster, whatever it is. And I think women are just the most obvious example of that. But yeah, if you're a dude, you're in your early 20s, and you're trying to find the one, I'd say that's a mistake. This ain't the 1940s. Where a 24-year-old is equivalent of a 30-year-old. Like,
so most dudes only get there when they're 30. What changes?
I don't,
A lot of dudes only clock that when they're older now, you know.
I don't think it's necessarily the age because, like I said, back in the day, um, today's 30-year-old would be equivalent of like a 17-year-old back then,
Damn.
right? Times were different. Like at 20, you probably could have got a house back then.
So we way behind.
Way, but
Way behind schedule.
well, also adolescence is
Okay.
longer too, right?
Okay.
So again, it's one of those things. It's not good or bad. It's both,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like we get to be kids longer than they did.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
a benefit is we look younger than they did.
Yeah.
Like if you look at pictures or videos or even
Mm-hmm.
sitcoms of some of the people that, like, for instance, George, I think Costanza or something from like the Seinfeld.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
like bald in the
Yeah.
middle.
Yeah.
He was like 34.
Yeah.
I'm 32.
Yeah.
If we stood next to each other, nobody would think we were around the same age.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so it's pros and cons. But I say all that to say, the only thing that happens, you've asked me this before about like age. I don't think it's 30. I don't know what the age, if there is an age. I just think it's more so a developmental milestone.
Mm.
Some guys reach there at 24. Some guys reach there at 18.
Yeah.
Some guys reach there at 30. Some guys reach there at 40.
Yeah.
But it's realizing, and I say this kind of jokingly, the grass is greener on the other side because it's fake. It's AstroTurf.
Mm.
Some people call that the red pill.
Yeah.
But it's just realizing that the fantasy that you believed as a kid
Mm-hmm.
about the world and how it works,
Mm.
and more specifically women and how they work, is a lie.
Yeah.
And now, after you know, after you kind of, what's the word that I'm looking for? After you negotiate that with yourself, then you could do the hard work of moving forward in a way that optimizes you for the outcomes that you want. Not just in getting a woman, because again, getting a woman isn't the goal. You know, getting isn't the goal.
Should be a consequence.
It's God bless you. It's a consequence.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to work on a video.
Okay.
Still on simping, you know. I picked this up talking with ladies because they would always talk about like, yeah, he shouldn't simp, but he should still put in effort, you know, which for me was like a watchword. I'm like, okay, what do you mean by that?
A real man would.
Yeah. You know, and I in the beginning I sort of understood what they were saying, you know. You should like take initiative, A, B, C, and D. But I just kept hearing more and more of that. But I think basically I'll say what you're trying to say in a different way, where, you know, what should make you attractive as a man is, you know, what you think about yourself, how much effort you put into yourself, right? That's where the effort should be put in, right? Into you, like you're saying, you know, with, do you like your own company? Do you like your own space? You know, are you cleaning your own room for yourself? You know what I'm saying? Versus what the movies and what the stories and what even women tell us, you know, we should put effort in, you know, the chocolates and the flowers and A, B, C, and D. And I'd say it this way, right? Flowers, chocolates, you know, rose petals, whatever you want to do, red carpet. Those shouldn't be an obligation. You know, it's a gesture, right? I don't have to buy her flowers. I get to buy her flowers, basically. So yeah, I want to ask you, you know, a young man listening to this, right? He comes to you, listen, bro. How would you distill this advice to him in one sentence, you know? In one or two sentences?
First sentence would be like yourself first. A lot of us, and I don't think this is just true for men. I think this is true for some women too. They're trying to find themselves outside themselves. They're trying to find themselves through somebody else. So if I can convince them to like me, then I can convince me to like me. As opposed to starting with the man in the mirror, like the great Michael Jackson said.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, I would say that it's not that simple, but it is that simple. Like life in general and I say this as somebody who's still learning, so don't, whoever thinks of me as like some guru, I'm just a guy
Yeah.
with thoughts, man.
Yeah.
Life is, some truths are paradoxical.
Mm.
Some truths don't make sense.
Mm.
I think women are the personification of paradox. And gaining the ability to navigate paradox is one of the best ways to maintain your inner peace.
Mm-hmm.
Gaining the ability to hold things that you might not necessarily like or agree with immediately. Like I tell people all the time, if you're a Democrat, spend some time watching Fox News.
Mm-hmm.
You can disagree with them all you want, but can you listen and disagree at the same time?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can you listen and even like steel man their arguments and vice versa?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you are the reddest Republican,
So those are some practical ways, basically.
I think that's one.
Yeah.
I think especially in the content age today,
Yeah.
I think you have to callous is the wrong word because it feels like you're repelling. But you have to be able to tolerate, build your tolerance of paradoxical truths.
Okay.
Like I said, if you are a manispherian, listen to the sprinkle sprinkle lady.
Mm-hmm.
If you are the most staunch feminist, listen to Kevin Samuels. Listen to Fresh and Fit even.
Yeah.
And you will disagree with 90% of what they say, but force yourself to see some validity. Force yourself to see, I see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Force yourself to be intellectually curious and, at the same time, don't be so open-minded that your brain falls out, but don't be so closed-minded that you don't expand your knowledge base and you rely on confirmation bias. So trick your algorithm, trick your YouTube, trick your Instagram, trick your Facebook, because what these algorithms do is they curate our own echo chamber. So you have to be strategic, you have to be intentional and deliberate about breaking out of your own echo chamber, because there's a better you on the other side of that. There's a more sophisticated, nuanced, well-rounded, objective you on the other end, instead of protecting your fragile ego by not being able to tolerate dissent or sit with objection.
Yeah. This theory, women are filmmakers, right? For the Simps, it does make women sound chaotic.
Yes.
How do you respond to that?
Women are chaos.
Damn, they are chaos.
I've gotten pushback from men and women on this, and I've gotten acceptance or like agreement from men and women on this. I think chaos has a negative connotation, but I don't think chaos is inherently bad. I think creation is a consequence of chaos.
Yes, okay.
Like if you are non-religious, the Big Bang was a chaotic event. If you are religious, the Garden of Eden, the creation of the world was a chaotic event.
Yeah, the world was wild and waste.
There we go. If you are, childbirth is a chaotic process. I think, essentially men aspire to be God in a sense, right? We when it comes to life, we seed a woman with life. And then women are essentially Earth, like Mother Earth.
Okay.
I've said this, like, I don't know if it's valid. Maybe the esoteric brothers and sisters might tell me, oh, you might be onto something. That sounds like bull. But like, there are 4 seasons in nature: winter, summer, spring, and fall. There are 4 seasons for a woman that she goes through every month. Ovulatory, luteal, follicular, menstrual. And you could probably liken each of the, like, menstrual would be winter, ovulation would probably be summer, follicular would be spring, and then luteal would be fall, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of parallels. But yes, my theory is that women are the embodiment of chaos. I don't think that's necessarily bad. I
Sounds
just
bad.
think I just think it requires the structure and the guidance. Like I said, women are water, right?
Mm,
Water is chaos.
mm-hmm,
You know, what did Bruce Lee say? Be like water, my friend. Water can
mm,
crash, water can flow.
mm.
You
So
know,
men are the dam. Men
men
should be the dam.
men should be the riverbed more so than the dam.
The riverbed.
To
Okay.
guide the water, to protect the
Mm.
water, to give the water purpose. Because
But
without the riverbed, without the dam, without it just flows recklessly and does whatever the hell it wants and it floods.
Hey yo. Damn.
But yeah, women are, and the thing is, when you talk to enough women, you'll realize that sometimes they don't even make sense to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
Yeah.
they're arguing with themselves in their brain at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
Like one thing, a piece of game that I would give guys is, and I've asked women this, and they're like, "Oh man, that actually is real." Women can feel multiple emotions simultaneously. I think men can too, but um, not in the sophisticated way women
Mm-hmm.
can,
Mm-hmm.
because men are more so linear.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes our anger is really masking our fear,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a mask.
Mm-hmm.
Women, on the other hand, a woman can be angry that she's afraid, horny that she's angry that she's afraid, sad that she's horny that she's angry that she's afraid,
Damn.
simultaneously.
Damn.
If that's not chaos, I don't know
How
what to tell you.
sweet.
It's not math, bro. It's not math, bro. Theoretical physics, like I said. Theoretical physics. Some of this shit don't make sense and it never will. Yep.
Sheesh. Okay, man. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot. I want to touch on simping a bit more.
Okay.
Man, what frustrates you the most about, you hear stories about he spent 10K on the first date, got played, he went back to, the girl that rejected him, and now he's got a platform, and he's doing well for himself. You hear these stories about these athletes. There's just one, I forgot his name, who's getting married to like an OnlyFans model. One's ex-porn star.
Yep.
I would high-key classify all of that as simping. You know what I'm saying? What frustrates you the most about simping and seeing young men just not clocking the game? You know what I'm saying? And that's, hey, it's rigged. It's not what the movies are telling us. It's rigged.
A part of me feels, the anger that a lot of people feel, but most of it is actually sadness. I'm actually sad for men. And I say this as a man because I've had to kind of like come to terms with this for myself as well and try to reconcile it. But like, one of the tragedies of masculinity is this innate feeling or this innate mandate to justify your existence. Men have never gotten to just be. Men were human doings. Men are human doings, not human beings. For most of human history, that either meant agriculture, hunting, or war. So a lot of like when we see men today who are lost is because agriculture, hunting, and war have kind of been automated. So men have lost their sense of purpose. And purposelessness is a slower death than anything else.
Yeah.
So with simping, I think it's a byproduct of, I feel this internal, subconscious, nondescript need to justify my existence. And what better way to do it than to try to tame the wildest, most unruly, most uninterested women that I can. That'll prove that I'm a guy. I'm a man. That'll prove that I'm him. That'll prove to myself that I'm worthy. And it won't. But a lot of men, and I think especially in our community, because then we've also created very bastardized narratives to kind of like sustain this,
Yeah.
right? Crazy women got the best.
Yeah.
If you down right, she'll be crazy about you.
Yeah.
So then we seek out subconsciously, we seek out turmoil and tumultuous situations to test our masculinity based on our ability to add order to that chaos.
Mm.
And
We shouldn't be doing that.
we
Is that
shouldn't
what?
be doing that. And I think that that's kind of how you see the Will Smiths, the super successful men who are the
Mm-hmm.
biggest simps, because that lack of self-esteem,
Mm.
that lack of internal self-worth
Mm-hmm.
has propelled them to greatness, but it's never going to be enough.
Mm.
And what better reminder than a cantankerous woman? What does the Bible say about being on the roof
Yeah, yeah. It's
rather
better to
than
be in an attic with to live in an attic all
Mhm.
alone than with a quarrelsome and nagging wife.
There we go.
Yeah.
But some men seek out a quarrelsome and nagging wife
Mm.
because if I can tame her,
Yeah.
then I'm that guy.
And then the ladies would be like, I need a man who's gonna put me in my
Put
place.
me in my see? It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
It's insidious.
Yeah.
It's no, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
Ah, man. Yeah, that's good. That's good. What do you think is the long-term consequence of simping with what you've just described? I mean, we're losing now, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are we bound to lose if we continue to go down this road?
Well, you know, there's this quote, weak men create tough times create strong men create good times create weak men, and
Mm-hmm.
the cycle continues. So I think history is kind of cyclical. In the stock market, they say history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think right now, especially with like things like the manosphere, the red pill, all that good stuff, you're seeing a pendulum swing.
Yeah.
I've been trying very hard to try to keep that pendulum from swinging too wildly.
Mm-hmm.
At least when I was involved.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I think that's what's going to keep happening. We're going to swing so far in this direction, whether it's the direction of feminism or the direction of, you know, live and let live,
Mm-hmm.
and free love and safe spaces. And then we're going to swing wildly to the other pseudo masculine direction of, you know, oppression and dictation and, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm hoping eventually we get to a place that's more balanced. We're still going to swing, but let's swing here instead of these wild, unrealistic, ridiculous, a 5-year-old should be put on hormone blockers type of swinging that we're doing now.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's happening in real life. Yeah. Okay. That's good, man. Where's the silver lining? Come on, give us some hope. You know what I'm saying?
Give us some hope. Shoot, man. I don't think hope is an option, man. I think what else is there to do but be hopeful?
Mm-hmm.
You know, living is an exercise in hope. It's you know, it's
That's good.
one of my
That's good.
favorite quotes is nations grow great when old men plant trees, the shade of which they shall never sit. So the point is to, in your little contribution, make the world slightly better, or optimize the world to be slightly better for the next generation, for the people who come after you. And I think, you know, I think that's going to happen. I think we're going to get to a better place, and then we're going to get to a worse place, and then you're going to get to a better place.
Damn.
And I think, you know, when you study history, that's kind of how it's been. They've always been, just like the stock market, they've always been ups, downs, ups, downs. And I think as men in particular, or as investors, if you will, using the stock market analogy, your ability to ride the highs and the lows is going to dictate your success in the market.
Yeah.
So part of having that sophisticated understanding is knowing that things will get bad and knowing that they'll get good again. and knowing that things will get bad again, and knowing that, and then optimizing their strategy for when things are bad and for when things are good, but not becoming overly optimistic, hoity-toity, pie in the sky, and also not becoming a nihilist.
Yeah. King Solomon writes, you know, and as I was thinking about this episode particularly, he says that the simple believe anything, but the prudent give thoughts to their steps, which I think is what you're describing, you know? Yeah, don't be naive, don't be gullible, don't romanticize, don't get mad that the world isn't how you believe it should be or how things should work, you know, but pay attention, you know, give thought to your steps, like you're saying, you know, what's your strategy for when things are good, for when things are bad, you know what I'm saying? And all of that. That's good. That's very good. Don't be simple. You know what I'm saying?
Don't be simple. There we go.
Don't be simple.
Underline the simp.
Yeah. Man, talk to the ladies. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, what role do they play in all of this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we get that men, we are the riverbeds, but does that mean that the ladies just get to flip and, you know?
Every child's first God is a woman.
Damn. What do you mean by that?
You come into this realm through a woman.
Yeah.
So whether your mom is fantastic or your first God is a woman. Before you have a concept of what God is, all you see is this canal that you came through and a face smiling at you or frowning at you if you're unfortunate.
Yeah.
Women are incredibly powerful. Women set the tone. Women set the cadence. Women dictate how men optimize themselves to perform for women. And that's why there'll always be simps, right? Because the ultimate validation in our like code as a species is progeny. Every other lions, tigers, and bears, everything they do is to create offspring, make sure that offspring survives, and make sure that the species doesn't die out. Humans are the same exact way. And that's dictated by the mate selection of women and how that then leads to how males optimize themselves to be chosen. You have to realize most of human history, most men didn't procreate. Only a very small select few of men procreated. I think women need to be responsible with that power. I think women need to understand that how you choose men will dictate the men that we see for generations to come. Because the men who aren't your son are going to optimize themselves to be chosen by you. And then the men that are your son are really just going to be reflections of their fathers. Women have this strange, bastardized idea that I can take any piece of sperm and turn it into greatness. And like, sure, nature versus nurture. Maybe you believe nurture is more, but there's also nature. You know, a pig gonna give birth to a pig.
Yeah.
You know, a donkey is gonna give birth to a donkey.
Damn.
Right? His father wasn't shit. The chance of him being anything is pretty low. So let us, number one, incentivize better performances from men by our posture as women. Let us understand that we, as we're navigating our chaos as a woman, we cannot help men, boys in particular, optimize themselves to navigate that chaos, female chaos externally. That's why I think women, single mothers, tend to create pimps or simps, no in between. But yeah, I think women can be a lot more responsible with that power. I think women could be a lot more embracing of their magic.
Yeah.
And in our community in particular, not rely on their lowest appeal, which is their sex appeal. I think that's a good place to start.
Yeah. So the question is now, you know, you're speaking to your daughter. How do you describe to her what a good man is?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time a lot of my downtime thinking about how to reconcile and translate some of this knowledge that I've picked up over the years to my daughter and maybe future daughters. For me, I think it's number one, optimizing her to be a woman who actually likes herself. Optimizing her to be a woman who's interesting past just her beauty. Optimizing a woman who understands the power of her femininity and isn't just doing her best impression of a man. Obviously, I don't know what it's like to actually be a woman. So her mom is going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting as far as like the practical, this is how you do X.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my insight is external. It's from the other side.
Yeah.
My hope for my daughter and maybe future daughters is that they are more than just their looks and their womb. They are women who, I know, like, I think Charleston White, he said in one of his videos, like, he said when a woman walks in a room, men sit up. Like, women who are actually women have this ability to, not just through their beauty, but just their presence, have an ability to like quietly command the attention. When I say the attention, I don't just mean, I mean the attention of men. And I want to help contribute to my daughter being one of those women.
Right. That's good. That's good, man. We're going to end it right there. Yeah. Final one. Do you think simping is a net positive or net negative to society?
Simping is always going to be a thing. Like I said, at the core, it's about men's lack of self-worth past our utility. Because simping is really just performance.
Yeah.
It's weaponized utility for the purpose of like convincing a woman to like you. So that's always going to exist. I just want to see more men learn how to like themselves, and not in a Andrew Tate or dark side of the manosphere Machiavellian way where you're just masking your insecurity and your low self-esteem with like bravado and ego. But like a deep, I think I'm interesting. I enjoy my own time. I enjoy my own company in that type of way. And, you know, even though I'm useful, I'm also human and I deserve to be here. And then women, I want women to also similarly have that same sense of themselves, and really have a more sophisticated understanding of their power. Because a lot of time, we spend a lot of time talking about how women are powerless because we're comparing it to the brute strength or the brute authority of men.
Yeah, yeah.
Rather than the subtle, nuanced, influential, seductive, protected, potent power that is femininity.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to see, man.
All right, ladies and gents, that is Alan of We Need to Talk. Like, comment, subscribe. Away.
That was good, man.
Cut.
Those questions were solid.
Hey, yo, if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for your support. It is much appreciated. All we ask is that you like, subscribe, and share this video with someone you believe it could help, entertain, or spark conversation with. When you do either of those, it really helps us out. So thank you so much for your support. Do the things. See you on the next one. Grace and peace. Our way.